All right, new tonight here on The Current. With Thanksgiving this week, many of us will be spending lots of time around family, but it isn't always easy. A 2022 Axios Ipsos poll found that the overwhelming majority of Americans, about 77%, do not think Thanksgiving is the time or place to discuss politics. But that same poll also found about 41% of Democrats and 29% of Republicans said they'll probably do it anyway. So whether it's politics or something else, how can we best keep things civil this Thanksgiving? That is just what psychologist Dr. Michelle Williams from the University of Iowa is an expert in. Negotiations, you could say. Dr. Michelle, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate this.
Thank you, Shelby. I'm very glad to be here.
All right, let's start with the topics that you hear. I mean, for the last couple of years, it's been politics, it's been COVID and vaccines. Is there any other hot button issue you're seeing really on the rise now?
I think what's so prominent right now is that any topic can turn into a button issue. You can be talking about the price of groceries and eggs, the price of daycare, how much healthcare is going up, and any of those topics can become polarized.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about, pass the deviled eggs can turn into an argument about the price of groceries right now. And Thanksgiving, you're
That's
typically
right.
around a lot of family. They can be all different ages. Do you have any tips for navigating these generational divides?
I love that question because I think the most important thing to remember is that the older generation and younger generation have lots to learn from each other. So instead of thinking of it as a conflict, thinking of it as, oh, I can learn more about technology from my younger cousins, and I can learn about how do you deal with difficult situations from my grandparents or great grandparents, because they've lived through a lot of different things that can really give you a good perspective.
Do you see those generational divides also causing a lot of conflicts, though?
I do. If people don't approach to the conversation with dialogue, wanting to learn more from each other and understand, if they approach it as I'm right and you're wrong, then it can really escalate.
All right, so what are your tips for shutting down a conversation? Sometimes you just want to prevent the discussion from even happening in the first place, just walk away from the conflict. How can you do that?
So that's a great question. So I have two kind of recommendations for people. One is to have a safety valve, call it an escape valve. When the conversation gets too heated, plan ahead. What are you going to do? Are you going to go out, suggest everyone throws the football around? Are you going to walk the dog? Are you going to go make some s'mores? Have some place where you can all move to a different location and engage in a activity jointly.
Hmm. Well, sometimes
Yeah, so
it's
which is
out
the
of.
great. The other
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing you can do is if you really have a difficult conversation that you want to have with your family members, plan it for another time. It doesn't have to happen on Thanksgiving.
That is true. But sometimes these things are unavoidable. Someone might be pushing the subject, or you just can't get out of it. Do you have any tips for when it comes to when you have to be in these discussions?
I do. And one is your framing of the discussion. A lot of times we're taught in the US to debate. And when you're debating, you want to prove your point and you want to poke holes in the other person's argument. But a dialogue, which is more what you want to do with your family, is trying to talk to them to understand their perspective, where they're coming from, and the assumptions they're making. So to build those bridges and to understand that people who think differently than you, can actually improve your thinking. So I think that approach, the mindset you go into the conversation with, and then slowing down the conversation. A lot of times we only half listen and we want to jump in with our response. But there's an acronym called LARA, LARA, which helps us do that. So it says listen, and then A, affirm what the other person said. Make sure you let them know that you heard what they said, and then respond after that. And you can add or ask them another question. And that LARA process allows us to have a much more positive conversation.
Yeah, you talk a lot about empathy in your work, and I think that's a great lesson, not just for Thanksgiving and Christmas and family gatherings, but just life in general, a lot easier way to move through the world.
Oh, definitely, especially those water cooler conversations
No
at
kidding.
work.
Dr. Williams, thank you so much for your time today. I know you're out with family right now. Enjoy your time with family this Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Thank you. If you guys at home want to share this story or her tips, you can find our online version up at WQAD.com. All you gotta do is click on the As Seen on TV tab at the top of the homepage.